Hi, welcome to Tarot Vidari. My name is Marielle Diana. In this episode, I'm going to be going over card combining. I think probably more than any other challenge for new readers, I see this one come up the most. What you're going to realize, hopefully by the end of this video, is that card combining actually makes your job easier as a tarot reader. It makes your readings more accurate. And it takes out a lot of the guesswork for you. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that. And you're going to see that throughout numerous examples. Throughout a lot of them, I'll have one carryover card that I'll be utilizing so that you can see how the surrounding cards pinpoint different meanings that that card has. So hopefully by the time this video is done, you are going to be combining cards effortlessly. If you could do me a favor, if at any point in this video you feel like you're getting something of value out of this, if you could hit the thumbs up button, that'd be amazing. It helps me, it costs you nothing, and it also lets me know that I'm doing a good job of choosing my content wisely. Okay, so here we're going to look at 6 cards. I have the top 3 cards as my primary reading. This is the bare bones that's giving me the essence of what's taking place in the story. Now, I don't have mine set up as a past, present, future. This is just sort of showing me the flow or the dynamic of what's taking place in the situation. The cards that are below it are going to pull out more details on what the card above it is discussing. So if we're just looking at the top row, getting the structure, the basic structure or outline of what's taking place in our situation, the Nine of Swords is telling me that the querent is really in a lot of mental anguish. They are very stressed out, likely dealing with anxiety. They're having a hard time sleeping at night because these thoughts are just weighing down on them. Then I see the Six of Cups. So this is letting me know that the source of their anxiety and their stress is coming from something dealing with their past. They have some past memories that are haunting them. And then I see this leading to the Eight of Cups. So I see ultimately in this process, they're going to be liberating themselves from this. They're going to be walking away because it's not serving them anymore. But at this point in the situation, they're very much locked into it, and they're deeply influenced by these past events. So now we're going to pull or flip over the secondary card that's going to give us more detail on the primary card. So we have the Three of Swords, the Seven of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords where we have, I already explained this one, but, we have this person undergoing a lot of stress, missing out on sleep. And the Three of Swords is letting me know that they're dealing with mental anguish around love and emotions. This could be indicating, feelings of abandonment and betrayal. And that meaning is kind of pulled out with the Eight of Cups as well, and the Seven of Cups. We're seeing reinforcement here. And I'm going to get to the Seven of Swords. I don't know if I said Seven of Swords, but the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Swords in just a minute. But yeah, with the Three of Swords, how we see the swords, which symbolize as thoughts, ideas, beliefs, piercing and penetrating the heart. That's telling me that these thoughts are impacting the emotions and the emotional health and well-being of the querent. Okay, so we're moving on. We saw that the querent was really reflecting on some past events that had taken place that's still haunting them. The benefit of the Six of Cups here is that we know that this is not a situation that is currently taking place because the Six of Cups deals with the past. So what was this event that took place? Well, we have the Seven of Swords. This is indicating to me, I'd be willing to put down money that this person's partner cheated on them. The Seven of Swords card is, the first thing I think of when I see that is the cheater, the liar, the deceiver. So this person has really been traumatized by this experience, being deceived and cheated on. Ultimately, what we see this leading to, though, is the Eight of Cups, which shows them, while they're very much in the throes of this suffering right now, I'm seeing that they're going to progress through this. I'm seeing that they ultimately are going to do something productive and walk away from these emotions. So while they likely have been dealing with this for some time, because we have our Six of Cups, past memories, this is the breakthrough for them in their life. And the Ten of Swords, expounding on the Eight of Cups, is just showing that, the Ten of Swords is like the I hate this phrase, but the beating a dead horse. This is them coming to the realization that they've really taken this as far as they can, and they're not progressing anymore by continually playing this situation over and over in their mind. So here in this reading, you can see how the cards that surround the Six of Cups, for instance, help to pinpoint to what meaning the Six of Cups is indicating in this reading, because we know that the Six of Cups can indicate past lovers showing back up in your life. We know that it can indicate reminiscing on good memories or bad memories, really reflecting on the past. So in this sense, we're able to really narrow down and pinpoint what those memories have to do with. Are we talking about a lover coming back? Clearly not in this case. Because we see that this is very much their own mental process and them dealing with painful memories from the past. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Six of Cups in another scenario where the surrounding cards are indicating something else. Okay, so here we are again. We have, the bare bones of our reading, which is the Eight of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Four of Cups. So what is this telling me just looking at what's going on? The Eight of Wands deals with news, messages, swift changes, new information coming in. So I see that there's some sort of new information coming in, some new message that's coming in for our querent, and I see the querent initially in the moment of seeing so much potential, really excited about the potential opportunities. So their imagination is really kind of going wild at this point, considering the potential benefits of this, and possibly even some of the cons as well, but we'll find out which it is as we flip our additional cards. And then I see this ultimately ending in them being not particularly excited about it once they've really weighed their options and investigated this a little more thoroughly. I see that they're finding this as unfulfilling, not a direction that they're wanting to go down, feeling pretty disenchanted about it. So now we're going to flip over our secondary cards. And there's the Six of Cups. Okay, so the Six of Cups, as we said, can deal with messages from the past. I really think of the Six of Cups, every time I see it, it reminds me of Mercury retrograde, because it's like reflecting on the past, and to me, the Six of Cups is when you're most likely to have somebody come back into your life or reach out to you from your past. So, it's kind of like seeing these two together is indicating to me that the Eight of Wands is that somebody, likely an ex from this person's life, is going to be getting back in touch with them, is going to be sending them a message. So this is like the Mercury retrograde where that ex is sliding into your DMs, comes out of the woodworks, you haven't talked to him in forever, and all of a sudden they're hitting you up. So let's go ahead and get some more information on this Seven of Cups. Okay, we have the Two of Wands. So this is indicating to me that the querent is really strongly considering taking up their ex or this person from their past that's coming into their life. They're really considering taking them up on this option. My assumption would be to rekindle the relationship. So to me, this is really showing that debate within themselves of, do I take this opportunity and see where it goes, or pay attention to my past and the mishaps that have taken place there and avoid, going down that same road again. So now we'll flip over the card that's going to give us more information on the Four of Cups, because at this point they're very, they've thought about it and they're feeling pretty turned off by the idea. So we'll see what the underlying reason for that is and maybe pinpoint details on that. The Five of Cups in relation to the Four of Cups is signifying to me that whatever took place in their past, things did not go well. And I see them really reflecting on the mishaps that took place last go around. So for me, what I'm seeing here is with the Four of Cups, the things that she's feeling disillusioned by are these three cups here that she walked away from in the past. So, I would see this as, say, while she was initially kind of thinking, hey, maybe something's changed, maybe things will be different, I see her being like, you know what? I already learned my lessons from this. And these things that took place in the past, very likely to happen again. Or it could even be core things about that person's nature that are things that just don't change. And they're like, those were deal breakers for me. So, I walked away from it before, so I'm going to walk away from it again and hold out for that great opportunity to come in. And, we also see here with the Eight of Wands here and the Two of Wands here, we see these messages coming at the querent as she's debating taking the opportunity, and here she's looking down at the Two of Wands, and we have the Wands here and here, which is really the force energy. This is the action energy, and she's debating taking that and doing something with that. And then in these cards here, we really see more of her emotional journey in the process, even the Seven of Cups, we see her emotional process. And another thing that I'm noticing too, if we're going off of imagery, is we have these two silhouetted characters. So, if here, this is her debating, taking this opportunity that, opportunity, we see that it's the same, we'll assume the same silhouetted character, because that's a connecting image between the two cards. So that would indicate to me that she's the one who walked away in the past. She's the one debating taking things back up. She's the one who walked away in the past. The Five of Cups wouldn't be indicating in this situation that part of her unhappiness has to do with the fact that he left her in the past. I would really get the feeling that this very much is, it was her choice to leave in the past, and it's her choice to not take this opportunity or revisit that relationship again. So here we can see the way that the cards that surround it and the story that's taking place pinpoint which meaning the Six of Cups has in this reading. So let's go ahead and see another example. So what we're going to do is we're going to look and see how the meanings of the cards shift and how the surrounding cards pinpoint it. Now, if you recall, in our first reading, we had 6 cards, and it looked just like this, okay? What happens to the meaning of these cards under different context when we have another card at the beginning? Okay, well, let's say that the querent has come to us and they're curious about a new business opportunity. Well, as a new reader, your gut instinct might be, I see cups, this is about love, it's not about work at all, your reading's going to be about love. That would really be a mistake, and it's a good idea to fight that urge, because the cards are always going to answer the question that's been asked. So what you do is you find a way to understand the cards in the context of the question. So they have a new business opportunity and they want some insight on how the situation is going to unfold. Well, what I see is I see the new business opportunity being presented. The Six of Cups is telling me that they're really reflecting on something from their past that's having a heavy influence on the debate here about whether to take this new opportunity or not. And if I take the Six of Cups into the context of the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Cups shows them walking away because it's not good for them. It's not serving them. So that would let me know that the memories, that they're reflecting on here, probably not positive memories. So let's go ahead and let's see what the next row has to say about the cards above them. Two of Cups. Okay, so we have another Cups card. We're still not talking about relationships. We're still talking about business. So what's the essence of the Two of Cups? It has to do with partnerships. So what this would be telling me is that the business opportunity that they're being presented with has to do with a partnership. They're looking for a business partner. So they're not this opportunity coming in. I would now have pretty strong evidence that they're not getting a job offer to work for a company. They're getting a request to go into business together as partners. So let's see what further details we can get about these Six of Cups. And we have the Six of Pentacles reversed. And I'll go ahead and show you that card so that you can see that. Are we in the light here? There we go. Okay, so that reversed. What's that telling us? Well, the Six of Pentacles deals with balance, fairness, equal distribution of resources. Having that reversed would tell me that the memories that they're pulling from regarding this situation, or this person presenting them with the opportunity, if you will, they have some memories that suggest that this person might not be fair to deal with in business. That whether it's the way the money's distributed or the way the labor is distributed, it's not balanced. So that is part of what's influencing them here, because we know that this is negative awareness or past awareness that they have about this. So let's get some more information on the Eight of Cups. Okay, so the Eight of Cups is with the Two of Swords. This is suggesting to me that them coming to the conclusion to walk away, they really took their time. They weighed the pros and cons. They examined the risk versus reward. Ultimately, that is what led to them walking away. So let's see, getting more information, pulling out more details. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. So the story that I'm already seeing right here, the Ace is new. That's the beginning. That's the new seed or opportunity. And we have, the Ace of Wands there. We know that it's a partnership. So what this would be telling me is more than likely this is a business startup. They're looking for a partner to start the business with them and probably invest money. Okay, so the Ten of Wands is giving us the idea that what they're concerned about not being equally distributed, not being, fair and balanced, is the workload. That would make sense with the Two of Swords because we do see them in this debate problem. We do see them weighing the pros and cons. So that would indicate to me, especially seeing the Ten of Wands here, that they're not necessarily concerned about being screwed over financially, but they are very concerned that they would be taking on the bulk of the workload. So let's get some more details on, this process with them walking away and going through this debating process. We have the Five of Swords in the context of this reading, I see this as somebody who's very ruthless in business. They only look out for themselves. They're not really concerned about the happiness, feelings, or fulfillment of anybody that they're in business with. So I see ultimately, looking at this picture and seeing the way that these cards play together, I'm seeing that, this new business opportunity for startup business to go in as a partner is being presented, but they know something about this person. They could have had past dealings with them. They could have had a friend who had past dealings with them, or they might just know this person in their personal life and they've seen how they treat other people. But, they're pulling from their own memory bank here. And we see this concern about a lack of fairness and a lack of balance, and they're really worried that they're going to be taking on too much work and a disproportionate amount of work. And then we see them ultimately walking away after having, really debated the pros and cons here, but ultimately feeling like they probably would get, steamrolled over in this process. So here we can see how the Six of Cups and even the 6 and 8 consecutively, the meanings really change based off of the story coming out in the cards around it. Let's look at this. How would the situation change with the Ace of Wands, 6 of Cups, and 8 of Cups if the cards below it are different? All right, so how does this story change under these circumstances with these cards pointing to the meanings? Well, if I had the Ace of Wands and the card that was pointing to the essence of the Ace of Wands as the Six of Pentacles, I really feel like this would be suggesting this business opportunity that's being brought in, more or less they're looking for an investor, possibly a silent investor, but they're looking for financial investment here versus, having the Two of Cups following the Ace of Wands was suggesting that they're really looking for a partner, but this is more of investor. So then I would say that the querent's new business opportunity has been to be an investor in the business, but we still have these bare bones of the new opportunity reflecting on something from the past and walking away. So what are they reflecting on in this scenario? Well, we have the Seven of Swords, which is the thieving, deceitful, cheating card, right? So in this sense, since we already know that they're walking away, this isn't indicating that they're remembering how clever they were in business. This is indicating that there's something negative that's taken place to make them walk away. So what is that negative thing in this circumstances? I would see this as concerns about theft, about having their money taken and the person running, not getting their money back, and potentially that they don't trust that the person bringing the opportunity in is being honest about the potential risks involved in this business, and they could be trying to sell it as more than it is. But, their concerns from some past dealing has to do with dishonesty. We see them walking away, so ultimately part of that motivating factor with the Ten of Swords, I see them walking away, because they feel like they're really going to get stabbed in the back by this person. They feel like they're going to get screwed over. They already feel like they can't trust them. So, here you can see how the story changes. So let's go ahead and do another one, and we'll pull in more cards so that we can see how the details just keep growing, and having more cards in there is really helping to refine the story that's being told. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how the story unfolds. I'm going to do way more cards this time. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing that I did in the past ones, which is where I laid down first my bare bones so that I can understand how the story is going to play out. So here's the situation. Somebody has come and asked, they just started a new relationship, and they're really, really happy. They're just basically on cloud nine right now, and they want to know how this situation is going to unfold. Hopefully, it's going to be a great story and it's going to unfold how they're wanting it to. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups. This is the, Prince Charming coming in with the offer for the relationship. Okay, so we have them presenting, the relationship to them, making an offer. The Ace of Cups is suggesting that the querent is feeling very optimistic and just rejuvenated and feels like this is really full of potential. Okay, we have the Two of Cups. So I see this as, the stabilization of the relationship. And this is probably, around where they're at this point, is taking up the offer on the relationship. And then I have the Queen of Cups reversed. So let's see if you can see that. So the Queen of Cups is reversed. When I see kings and queens reversed, really, any of the court cards, but with the kings and queens specifically, to me, that's them really being dethroned, and in other cases, it can be them not living up to the role that they are in currently. So, it could be like, for instance, one that came up in a reading, we had somebody who was having issues with their boss at work. Their boss had behaved in a way that was extremely unprofessional. We had the King of Swords reversed, showing that they, in it really, if you understand the context of what took place, it really was fitting because they had really fallen from their position that, they had been looked up to as this very intelligent, very well-spoken authority, and, they had reacted in a way that was very unprofessional, and they came up as the King of Swords reversed. So just to give you an idea of, how I see the Queen and the King specifically when they're reversed. So I'm kind of seeing this queen. I'm seeing the querent as being dethroned emotionally. Having things turned upside down, having a world turned upside down. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles, this shows me somebody who is continuing to stay investing, tending the seeds that have been planted. So this would indicate to me that although something has taken place that has, disillusioned her, I don't see her walking away. I see her sticking with it, for the hopes that, she's going to get that payoff. And then we have the Eight of Swords reversed. So I'll go ahead and show you this one upright. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so the Eight of Swords reversed. I'm seeing this as her ultimately leaving, because the Eight of Swords upright deals with feeling stuck. It's like a mental prison when you feel like you are just trapped in a situation and you can't get out of it for whatever reason. And we'll be able to pull more cards, to find out maybe what those reasons are or what's taken place. But right now we're just getting the bare bones, so we can see the storyline here. The Eight of Swords reversed is showing me that she did feel stuck, but she has moved out of that. So ultimately, just looking at the bare bones of this, while the relationship is likely going to go on for a long time, probably a decent amount of the motivator for it continuing, she wasn't stuck in the situation. She wasn't being held captive, but mentally she wasn't able to walk away from it and she felt stuck. And so I see this as ending with her ultimately cutting herself free. So, right off the bat, I wouldn't feel like this is a lasting, healthy soulmate relationship, especially seeing how it ends. But let's go ahead and pull some more cards and get more details so that we can, get a feel for what's taking place here. So I'm going to start pulling on the column of the Knight of Cups to describe more about, I would like to see more about this man's personality, his intentions, what we can expect from him. And we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is somebody who goes in hot. They have got a lot of passion and a lot of fire and a lot of energy, and they bring that in. But the Knight of Wands doesn't have the ability to sustain that fire. So you see with the Knight of Wands character, you'll see this as somebody who really runs from one situation to the next situation, really excited and burns out fast and is over it and is constantly looking for that next excitement, for that next adventure. I already know the context that this relationship would take place for a long time, but I know that they lose their passion quickly. So, that's letting me know that while he will still be there, he likely will have checked out quickly, or his passion, that loving excitement that he's bringing, is going to burn out very fast. But we'll be able to get more of an idea as we're going throughout this. So we have the Ace of Cups here, and then we have the Ace of Swords reversed. So I'll go ahead and show you that one. Hopefully, there we go. So we have the Ace of Swords reversed. That's a red flag to me, because not that there aren't plenty of other red flags here, but the Ace of Swords gives me the impression that the love that he's presenting her with isn't being honestly communicated, an untruthful nature to what's taking place, or it's not being presented realistically. We're going to pull some more on that to maybe get an idea of, what's being sold to her, or what this is entailing, and then we can narrow down the focus more. Okay, we have the Seven of Cups here. And the Ace of Swords reversed with the Seven of Cups. It's giving me the feeling like he's selling her an illusion. Really giving her the idea of something being really great, but it's just an illusion. We'll pull another one on this, find out like what is this idea that he's selling her on, that he's really hooking her with. So we have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands, for me, this is like you've been working for something for a long time, or looking for something for a long time, and your ships are finally coming in. This is what you've been seeking your whole life. So I feel like the idea that he's selling her on is this illusion that he's everything that she's been dreaming of and more. And so we see the relationship solidifying during this time period. We're still in the space where the reality for her hasn't been brought to the surface. It hasn't been unveiled or uncovered. So let's go ahead. Okay, so we have the solidifying of the relationship with the Two of Cups. And the Three of Cups is really kind of supporting the idea that this is a major celebration for her. And the Three of Cups, the Three of Wands, that's interesting, because the Three of Cups is like, it's a completion. It's finally attaining something that you have been working hard towards, or working hard to gain or to get, and it's finally coming in. So I'm really seeing her buying into this, hook, line, and sinker, which, would make sense if she came and was saying that things are going really great and she's feeling very hopeful and optimistic that this guy is the one. So we see her really, really happy and really fulfilled at this point. So let's see how this is unfolding, because we see her really happy at this point, but pretty quickly we have this change, just a total teardown. down. So, let's see if we can kind of link this, keep going until we bring this back together. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands, and this is messages, news, swift changes. If we're building off of the bits and pieces and sort of cross-referencing cards, I had said earlier with the Knight of Wands that he comes in hot and fast in the beginning, but burns out very fast. And so I'm getting, confirmation of this swift change with this Eight of Wands. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep pulling on this. Okay, and there it is. So, you can see how whatever this changing event is that's taken place, whatever these, the turn of the tide is, it's bringing her to a place of emotional dissatisfaction, being very discontent, very unfulfilled with what's playing out and how things are playing out. So we'll go ahead and move on to the Queen of Cups. We'll start pulling cards on this dethroning process and get some more details. Let's see the story here. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands, it's a very combative card. So, I'm seeing that the change that's taken place, he's become very aggressive and combative, and he's basically, hitting her from every angle, just berating her with attacks. So, we don't know what kind of attacks this is. Is he violent? I certainly hope not. Or is this something more emotional or, psychological? Let's go ahead and clarify that. Okay, so we have the King of Swords reversed. So I'll go ahead and show you that upright. King of Swords reversed. So as I was saying earlier about the kings and queens, when they are reversed, being dethroned or failing to live up to the honor of the role that they've been placed in. The story that I was telling you earlier about that reading I did with the King of Swords reversed, it had to do with a verbal assault. So me seeing this and seeing how this story is playing out with her just emotionally upended, and we see her being attacked, with the King of Swords reversed, I feel like there's a strong likelihood that he's become verbally abusive, probably psychologically abusive. But, we can get more details on that to kind of see what he's doing. So we have the Five of Pentacles. Seeing the Five of Pentacles, I feel like he's doing things to make her feel rejected. Like nothing she's doing is good enough, so he's probably belittling her a lot to lower her self-esteem. And I also pick up from the Five of Pentacles that he is working to cut her off from her friends, family, and community that offers her support. So I feel like there's probably this isolating that's taking place to remove her from that support system. Rejection and belittling, probably to keep her around. I mean, that's pretty common, narcissistic patterns and behaviors. And so, while I wouldn't diagnose somebody as narcissistic from a tarot reading, I'm seeing some patterns. I would definitely be comfortable saying that I'm seeing some very unhealthy patterns here. So let's go ahead. Let's just, let's pull another card. Okay, so we have the Seven of Swords. This is like the cheater card for me. So I feel like not only is he working to isolate her and belittle her, I would say there's a high likelihood that he's not faithful. He's not, let me say this in a way that's more open to a variety of different types of relationships. He's not honoring the boundaries that the two of them have established as acceptable and unacceptable behavior. This is all under the column of what's serving to dethrone her. I would assume that she is aware of this, that she would become aware of this, and all of these things would be serving to really knock her off balance emotionally. Let's just pull one more here. The Nine of Swords is the anxiety. This is somebody who can't sleep at night. They are just completely consumed by their fears, stress. I feel like, and this, would definitely play in with the Eight of Swords, how I was saying how this person staying feels very psychologically motivated to me. And so, given the nature of the cards that come with it, I would really feel like this man has served to just change her way of thinking and made her probably very low self-esteem, very critical of herself, feeling like she's not good enough, feeling like she's stuck and she can't go anywhere, and how I was saying with the Eight of Swords, for non-physical reasons, but psychological reasons, feeling like you're stuck and you can't get out. That would also be supported by this Five of Pentacles. It's indicating that she's been cut off from her support network, so she probably feels like she can't leave. She has nowhere to go or nobody to help her get back on her feet. Let's go ahead and move on to the Knight of Pentacles, because I could just go all day. We see her sticking with it, and with the Knight of Pentacles, like I was saying, this is the tortoise of the tortoise and the hare. This is the person who has the mindset of slow and steady wins the race, and if you work hard enough, long enough, eventually you'll reap the rewards of your hard work. So we know that she's continuing to try to make something out of this. Clearly, whatever impact he has been making, and is probably making up until this point, based off of how she was feeling about the relationship at this point, she has a very hard time letting go of the reality of the situation, that it's not what she was told it was. So there's kind of like this cognitive dissonance taking place here, where she's seeing one thing, but she's still believing in the story she was sold. Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles inverted, and I'll go ahead and show you that one. So the Seven of Pentacles is also, giving support to the Knight of Pentacles about her sticking with this for a long time. The Seven of Pentacles upright, talks about just working hard and tending these seeds that you've planted, and you're waiting to reap the rewards, but it just takes a long time. It's kind of like the seasons, you can't rush the seasons. You can't make harvest time come before it's ready. With the Seven of Pentacles reverse, this is indicating to me that she continues to invest, but there's never any payoff. And she seems to have this mindset of, if I just did more, if I just tried harder, if I just did better, if I was better, then I would get the rewards. So it's like she's continually trying to fix the problem, to address the symptom with the wrong medicine, if you will, because ultimately there's literally nothing that she could do that would make this relationship bear fruit. It's garbage. Let's go ahead and pull again. I feel like with the Ten of Swords, her working on this, but it leading up to her finally liberating herself, I see that ultimately she's going to realize, like, I have given this everything I can, I have done everything I can, and I still have nothing to show for it. This has nothing left to offer. So I see her at some point sort of coming to her senses and breaking the cognitive dissonance, when no matter what she does, she's not ever getting the payoff. We'll pull another, and then we have the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is like the straw that broke the camel's back. So I ultimately see this as saying her not ever getting the rewards or getting what she was promised. Eventually she realizes that this is going nowhere, and she's given everything she can, and she's done everything she can, and eventually something's got to give, and she can't give anymore. So I see that is being what's ultimately leading her to get herself unstuck from this situation. This relationship is sucking her life force dry. And so, we see her ultimately coming to terms with reality from that. And we'll see. So we have the Six of Swords. We see her breaking through this and really just seeking refuge. I see her leaving, and things are so bad. That's part of what gets her unstuck from the situation, is just hope and faith, like basically just doing it on a prayer. The Four of Swords, I see her finally getting a break. She's finally getting a rest. This is her exhale moment. Pull one more. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords reversed. So there's the Three of Swords. And having that reversed, I really feel like in this process of becoming empowered again, of not being stuck in this, is as a result of her addressing the beliefs that she's taken on that have been so emotionally damaging, and healing that, working to heal that, getting a rest, taking a break from these thoughts and these beliefs that have been so destructive and done nothing to serve her and have only worked to keep her feeling trapped. And, regaining some faith that and hope that anything's got to be better than this. So I see all of this process as being what ultimately leads to her breaking out of this mental prison that she's been put in as a result of this relationship. So you can see here the way that the cards really play together to tell the stories, and the benefit of laying down the bones of your situation so you can see the steps, but allowing the details to come out and really tell the story. And you can just keep pulling cards until you're satisfied, until you feel like, okay, I get a clear enough picture of what's going to be taking place here. Okay, I'm seeing that this emotional upheaval, and loss of self-esteem, I get a clear enough picture of what's taken place to really get her to this emotionally broken state. So hopefully this has been helpful and beneficial in seeing how the cards can play together and how you can use the surrounding cards in the reading to offer validation and pinpoint to the different meanings that each card had together. So you can see how we did that with the Knight. We were able to clarify that the meaning had to do with being very hot in the beginning but burning out very quickly. We had that really supported by how quickly we saw this next step just being a total turn. And we had that confirmed with the Eight of Wands, suggesting that this change that was going to be taking place would be happening rapidly, quickly. We go from very emotionally fulfilled to very emotionally unfulfilled and dissatisfied, and there's this swift, rapid change card in the middle. In this way, we're looking for confirmation. We're looking to see how the cards are telling the story together. And don't be afraid to be specific with your context. If you flip a card over, you flip that Ace of Swords over and you're like, okay, I feel like something's not being presented honestly, or something that's being communicated isn't being done so accurately. What is being presented inaccurately? And it's like, okay, so now we know to read into the Seven of Cups that this is the illusion side of it. This isn't the happy daydreaming about all the amazing possibilities that are coming in. This isn't suggesting that you're having a hard time making a decision because you have so many options. This is indicating the illusion side of it with that Ace of Swords reversed. Okay, well, what is she being sold? What is this story that she's being sold? So you see how before flipping each of the cards, if you're not understanding what's unfolding, be very specific in the context for the card that you're flipping next. Okay, great. Another thing you can do if you're really just struggling to connect the dots on a section of your reading or on a card, grab your pendulum, start checking. Does this card mean this? Does this card mean this? And narrow it down. Don't be afraid to use your book or other tools to improve the accuracy of your reading. If you don't know how to use a pendulum, I do have another video out that covers how to use a pendulum. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out. I'll see if I can figure out. I see people like, oh, just click on this link. I have no idea how to do that, but I'm sure I can watch a YouTube video and figure it out. So hopefully by the time this is posted, there will be a link up there. Otherwise, it'll be in the description. To practice seeing how the cards can play together, I recommend think of a situation that you know, a situation from your past, from a friend, or a completely made up situation, and then go through your cards and start looking at the different elements of that. Which cards would help to explain that situation? Which cards would describe this, unfolding? So you could, the way that we had like the bare bones part of the reading, you could pick out a card for each thing and show how the story unfolds. And in that way, you can start using your mind to reverse engineer readings based off of your own memories. And that will help you start seeing how you can use cards together in order to explain a situation or scenario. So it's a good way to practice exercising that part of your mind. And then, if that combination or certain combinations show up when you're in a later reading, that might trigger that memory of, oh, that reminds me of this particular thing. And then cross-reference it with the cards around it. But yeah, anyways, thank you for joining me again. I'm going to go ahead and go because I think that this video is probably 2,000 hours long. But yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this that, just give tips, tricks, and insights for reading tarot and getting more accurate readings, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I plan on putting out a video once a week. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them below. I will get to them as soon as I'm able to. And if you have any ideas for videos that you would like me to cover, feel free to leave that in the comments too. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.